this is Jeffrey Paul Ross for NextLevelGuitar.com. Today we're going to work on some Chuck Berry style playing. Okay, now there's another aspect of Chuck Berry's playing that is directly borrowed from T-Bone Walker, and that's where he's anchoring one note on the B string and bending the G string up to the same note, or anchoring the high E string and bending up on the B string to the same note. And I'm talking about and you've almost every Chuck Berry song that has that rhythm, you'll hear, and it's very definitely a T-Bone Walker lick. And before I forget, if you would like a free video lesson that's not on YouTube, click on the YouTube text box below and we will send you a free video lesson with the corresponding ebook. And it's all for free, so you don't have anything to lose. All right, thank you. Once again, we're in C, and we're staying in this little box here between the 8th and the 10th fret. So put your first finger on the 8th fret on the B string, and on the 10th fret with your third finger on the G string. Now you'll notice that a whole step up from here is the same note as this. You know, they're both G notes. But what you're doing, you're just bending this up to match this note. And you can try this one. So you bend up, match the note, then drop this one, your G string with your third finger, drop that back down to the 10th fret, then down a whole step with your first finger, then the C note on the D string on the 10th fret. You know, and just mix and match. Okay, now also, and you can practice going back and forth from the B and the high E string. And he would make them kind of like more of a staccato burst, like he would kind of choke the note. So that gives you a rough idea what's going on there. Now also, Chuck would also do these little country hammer-ons. And all that is once again, you're borrowing the B and the high E string with your first finger on the 8th fret. And you're hitting both strings, the B and the E. But you're hammering on with your third finger a whole step up on the B string. So once again, these licks aren't note for note Chuck Berry solos, but I think I've given you enough tools that you can take what I've shown you and learn some of your favorite Chuck Berry licks. I would listen to Johnny B. Good, of course, O Carol, Roll Over Beethoven. I would listen to No Particular Place to Go, where he uses a lot of these types of things. Maybelline. He was a very rhythmic player. Yeah, now when Chuck Berry came on the scene, you know, rock and roll was just getting started pretty much, and especially for young teenage white audiences. And when Chuck Berry showed up, it was there was nothing like him. And you can see or hear his influence. Jimi Hendrix, you know, not just the guitar playing, but the theatrics and the moves and all that stuff. Chuck was doing a lot of that stuff, you know, back in the 50s. You know, so was T-Bone Walker back in the 40s. You know, T-Bone was doing the splits and putting the guitar in back of his head, and you know, and you can follow that back to the Mississippi Delta with the old blues guys standing on the street corner, you know, trying to cut heads, you know, and they would try to draw the crowd away from the guy on the opposite side of the street. And they would resort to all kinds of theatrics, playing guitar with their teeth, and, you know, I mean, it's nothing new. But Chuck Berry had his own spin on it, and he was quite remarkable. And as a lyricist, I think he's one of the greatest American poets that ever was. Get a Chuck Berry songbook and don't even listen to the music, and just read the lyrics. The guy definitely had a way with words. And Chuck Berry's influence can be heard, you know, like early on with people like Buddy Holly, then the Beatles, and of course Keith Richards and the Rolling Stones. Glenn Campbell with the Beach Boys. A lot of people don't know that some of those early Beach Boys records with the Chuck Berry riffs were actually Glenn Campbell. Listen to Fun, Fun, Fun or Surfin' USA. It's total Chuck Berry. So, you know, he had a profound influence on a lot of people, and I'm one of them. I'm a big Chuck Berry fan. And he's one of my favorite guitar players, one of my favorite songwriters. So anyway, this has been Jeffrey Paul Ross for NextLevelGuitar.com. Reminding you that we do have over 850 different examples of lessons from beginners, intermediate, on up through advanced. So we'll see you next time.